and remain standing for the invocation. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please bow your head. Dear Lord, we thank you for bringing us here tonight. We ask that you watch over this great city of Newman. We ask that you give this council the strength and the wisdom, the guidance to make the right decisions for this great city. In this we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Davis.
Present.
Graham.
Here.
Candia.
Present.
Mayor Martina.
Present. Declaration of conflict of interest. There being none. Item 6, ceremonial matters. A, oath of office to newly appointed Mayor Robert Martina.
Thank you, Mayor. Our city clerk, Mike Meyer, will be swearing you in tonight.
If you would, Mayor, raise your right hand. I state your name.
I, Robert Martina,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
I will defend and support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
I will bear fruitful faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California.
and the Constitution of California.
That I take this obligation freely,
That I take this obligation freely,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion.
without any mental reservation and purpose of evasion.
And that I will well and faithfully
I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties upon which I'm about to.
discharge the duties about which I am about to. Thank you. If you don't mind, I'd like to introduce myself. I'm
It's your
going down
meeting.
there. Yeah, do it a little bit different. I'd like to introduce my wife, Rita. 55 years she's put up with me. My daughter Julia and her husband Danny. Danny and Julia Cope, two best people in town. And all my other friends, thank you for coming tonight. I really appreciate it. Relax, relax. Anyway, another ceremony matters, proclamation World Polio Day. And we have, I guess, Bob McConnell and Carol.
Peter Ricard.
Okay. Should we go over to the podium over there? Then I can read the proclamation, or would you like me to read it from here?
How about the president?
Yeah, where would you like
Where do you want me to go?
We'll go over here.
Go on, Bob. You and I can do this.
Yeah.
Come on, girl. Come on, you're personal. We'll do all
Yeah,
this.
let's do it.
Let's do this thing.
Well, any way you want to do it. Okay,
Ladies first,
we're gonna,
so we can do it on one side.
okay.
Yes, I will stay right here.
Mr. Mayor, this is the president of the talking about.
Hi, how are you? Peter Ricard.
Peter Ricard.
Okay, nice meeting you.
Proclamation of the Mayor of the City of Newman. Whereas in 1979, American Rotarians traveled to administer polio vaccine when thousands contracted polio in the Philippines, eventually eliminating the disease. And whereas in 1985, Rotary International started a 30-year program to eliminate polio from the world. And whereas Rotary International has spent over $1.3 billion and has sent thousands of Rotarians around the world to administer polio vaccine in 122 countries. And whereas many groups have joined Rotary in efforts including the Gates Foundation, the World Health Organization, United Nations, and many other national and world organizations. And whereas 4 billion persons have been immunized against polio, and whereas as a result, polio has been eliminated from every country in the world except for Afghanistan and Pakistan. Whereas 30 years ago, there were 350,000 annual victims of polio compared to 2015, where there have been only 36. And whereas for 30 years, the Rotary Club of Newman has given major donation in each year polio, and 10 years ago, in a 3-year fundraising campaign, Newman Rotary raised $21,000, one of the top 3 clubs per member giving among all the 650 clubs in its zone. And whereas Bill Gates has said, this is an amazing organization that has been behind the success of eliminating polio worldwide. It was due to the Rotary that started the campaign. And whereas the Rotary's unwavering generous volunteerism and compassion exemplifies and embodies their motto of service above self. Now, therefore, I, Robert Martina, Mayor, on behalf of the great city of Newman, salute Rotary International for its amazing success story and the Newman Rotary Club for its role in fight against polio, and do hereby proclaim Saturday, October 24th, 2015, as World Polio Day in the city of Newman. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. That is so great. Thank you. Okay, come on over here.
He's bossy. He wants to be on the outside.
Thank you so much, everyone. You know, the Fall Festival, we had an iron lung that Bob had put there. And, you know, it gave me chills. And I know that any of us lived during that time, you know.
Yeah, we did.
It really hit home. But anyway, let me sign this and I'll get it.
Would you mind if I made a quick comment to everybody?
Please.
You know, I'm a Rotarian, and we have a great club. And one of my fellow members looked at me the other day, and a longtime member, and he said, you know, Peter, he says, since I've been a member, we have donated $200,000 to this community. And we have.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Next item is item 7, items from the public. This will be non-agenda items. Does anyone have a non-agenda item?
I'd like to address it.
Okay.
Council, please. Will you go up here now? Is that-
Absolutely,
Yes.
Mike.
If I remember correctly, it's supposed to say my name, my address, Mike Crinklaw, 743 R Street, Newman. I had the pleasure of serving with Bob. I'd like to compliment the council on their selection. They got the right guy for the right job. I feel very comfortable the direction Newman will go with Bob as the mayor. Congratulations, Bob.
Thank you, Mike. And I always used to say, no, I'm not going to offend the other council members, but Mike was always the best council member we ever had, including myself. So you know how good he was.
I'll keep paying you for that.
Anyway, okay, is there any other non-agenda items that anybody would like to speak to? Being none, we'll move on to 8, consent calendar. Waive all readings of ordinance and resolutions except by title. B, approval of warrants. C, approval of minutes of the August 25th, 2015 meeting. D, adopt resolution number 2014. Next number, a resolution rejecting the claim of State Farm Insurance, a subrogate of Carlo Delgado. E, adopt resolution number 2015, next number, approving the L.J. Newman Memorial Center renovation project, as completed and authorize Robert Martinez, mayor, and Mike Myers, as city clerk, to record a notice of completion. F, accept the Stanislaus County Grand Jury report and respond to the findings and recommend Civic Grand Jury case numbered 15-16GJ. And anyway, bring it down.
I move to approve the consent calendar as read. I'm sorry.
I second that motion.
Okay. A motion has been made and second to approve this consent calendar. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carried 4-0. Number 9, public hearing. There being none tonight. Move on to 10, regular meeting, regular business. Adopt resolution number 2015, a resolution awarding a bid for the Skate Plaza project.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. Before you is the bid award for the Skate Plaza project. The city has been pursuing grant funding for the project since 2012. We've received 7 grants thus far. The project was originally out to bid in April, but only received 1 bid. It was rejected by the city council in hopes of getting more competitive bids. 2 bids were received this round. They were opened on August 18th. Bid documents specify that the project must be awarded based on the total bid, but that the city can elect what alternates, if any, are constructed. The lowest bidder was F. LaDuca Company with a total bid of $434,950. Their bid has been certified by the project engineer. If the full Land and Water Conservation Fund match amount of $77,138 and all grant funds are utilized, there are enough funds to fund the base bid of the project and allow for a contingency of approximately $33,000, which would help cover the cost of cameras and ancillary items for the project. Therefore, staff recommends that the City Council adopt Resolution 2015, next in number, awarding a bid for the Skate Plaza project. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions of Stephanie? There being none, I bring it back to the council for direction.
I'll make a motion that we adopt resolution number 2015, next number, a resolution awarding a bid for the Skate Plaza project.
I second that.
Okay, item B, adopt resolution number...
Bob, we need to get a vote.
I'm sorry?
We need to have a vote. We have a motion and a second. We just
Oh,
need
I'm
to get-
sorry.
We need to get council vote.
You think I'm nervous? Okay, motion's made and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carried 4-0. I'm sorry. Okay, regular business B, adopt resolution number 2015, a resolution adopting an application for clean water revolving funds for wastewater discharge requirements, renewal, and WWTP upgrades, and authorize the city manager to execute all financial documents, applications, and certifications.
Good evening, City Mayor and council members. For several years, the groundwater degradation question at wastewater treatment plant has been the primary holdup to the Regional Water Board, drafting and issuing updated waste discharge requirements, which are compatible with the city's long-term plan, improving source water quality. The Regional Water Board has tentatively accepted a solution which would involve diluting our effluent with lower salinity surface water to reduce or eliminate the risk of groundwater degradation from agricultural reclamation activities. As such, the city can be qualified for planning grant funds, allowing a groundwater impact mitigation program, as well as supporting waste discharge requirement renewal for WWTP. The grant would award up to $500,000 for the cost of the approved project. There is no fiscal impact to the city budget because it is 100% funding and requires no local match. Therefore, staff recommend the City Council approve an application for the Clean Water State Revolving Fund for the project and authorize the city manager to execute all associated documents. I can answer to any question you may have.
Council have any question? Hearing none, I bring it back to the council for direction.
I move that we adopt resolution 2015 next number, a resolution approving an application for Clean Water State Revolving Fund for waste discharge requirement renewal and WWTP upgrades, and authorizing the city manager to execute all financial documents, applications, and certifications.
I'll second the motion.
Motion's been made and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried 4-0. Regular business. Item C, consider approval of Rotary Club's request to temporarily place a banner at the corner of Fresno and Highway 33 as part of their End Polio Now campaign.
After the swearing in of our new mayor, this is the second most important item on the agenda tonight.
Yeah.
That's why our crowd is here. So, Mayor, tonight before you and the council before you tonight, we have a request from the Newman Rotary Club. And as you know, they presented the End Polio Now campaign is getting moving forward. They have a banner that's 8 foot by 2 foot, and they were looking for a place to place it to, once again, to share the campaign with the community. After having a discussion with Mr. McConnell, we thought maybe if we put it on some stakes here in our grassy area next to the plaza, all the Highway 33 traffic could view that, and that's a good way of getting it out there. Originally, they wanted to run it across Main Street, but we don't own the buildings on the corners to stretch that all the way across, and it's, in the past that's been kind of difficult. So we thought maybe again the grassy knoll would be a much better place for it. So tonight, staff is recommending that the council make a motion and approve the placement of the Rotary's banner to End Polio Now to sponsor their campaign, be allowed to be placed on the grassy area of the plaza for the month of October. And there are members of the Rotary here that I think they would like to address you before your final vote. Did Bob leave? Oh, Bob wanted to do the present. Okay.
Questions or elaborate on it more if you like. Do I need to go through it?
Please, Carol. Please.
Please, Carol. I don't know if they're going to have any questions.
Yeah, I have no-
I think
Well, I would mention the banner is double-sided, so we thought it was a great opportunity to see it coming and going. We'd like it for the month of October because that's the End Polio Now month with our Rotary International group that we're affiliated with. And by you allowing us to do this, it's going to, constantly remind the community of our effort. And we have one big last fundraiser. It's polio, Pennies for Polio on October 31st, and the Interact kids do that with us. And I thought this will help us a lot if the community is much more aware than they have been in the past about what our effort is. So it's a very nice sign. I don't know if you saw it in the parade, but if you saw the parade, we were leading it in front of our little float. It's 8 by 2. It's nice material, professionally done, and it would be up for the month of October if you granted us permission. And Peter? Sure.
Just interrupt you for a second. For those that
Peter,
don't know,
I'm sorry.
Interact
Peter.
is our high school.
Can you move to the microphone, just so our audience at home can hear you as well? Thank you very much.
I'm sorry, Carol. Carol is talking about our Interact Club. Our Interact Club, and believe this or not, it's one of the largest clubs in our district, which is 5220 and has about 2,000 members. And Newman should be really proud of this. The Interact Club is our high school Rotary, and they do one heck of a job. Anyway, excuse me for interrupting you, but they do a great job, and they're very involved in this.
Yes, they are our right arm, do all the things that we can't do in our elderly positions. So if there's no other questions, we would just ask that you vote yes. Support this.
Does anyone have any questions?
No.
I just had a question, probably for everyone that's involved in this program. Do you find that the younger people don't understand what we're talking about?
They don't have a clue.
They don't have a clue.
They know they get a vaccination, and they don't know what an iron lung is. We were able to get our district's iron lung for this month, and they've never seen an iron lung. They have no idea what that's all about. And so it did bring up over the weekend quite a few conversations and explanations for the kids. And we have a huge campaign going, but one of the events that we're doing is going to the after-school program at all the schools with the Iron Lung, and I think Bob has prepared a 15-minute presentation to the kids. And they said they wanted to be involved with our canisters to collect money, so the after-school program is participating at that level. And they're the younger kids, but no, they don't know what it is.
Well-
But they're learning. They're learning. And most importantly, they're learning why we need to eradicate it worldwide. So, and like you probably read in the earlier reading, Afghanistan and Pakistan are the two last countries for obvious reasons, mostly political, some ignorance. But they have agreed to let the volunteers go in. So we'll see. You know, there were 36 cases. If we get rid of those and we have 3 years without another case, it's worldwide polio eradication success. So that's all we're hoping for this time around. Should happen. Should happen. So, but thank you.
Thank you so much. Any other comments before I bring it back to the council for? I think the council has already made their decision. They're going to say yes, but I do need a.
I'd make a motion that we approve the Rotary's request to temporarily place a banner at the corner of Fresno and Highway 33 as part of the End Polio Program campaign.
I second it.
Okay, I have a second. First and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried 4-0. Item D, consider StanCog and Public Safety Subcommittee appointments.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. Typically, in January following an election, the council kind of does a reorganization on who's going to sit on what committees, because we have a number of committees. We have around 20 committees that the council members sit on. Tonight, we're asking you just to identify two that we would like you to place somebody on to replace former Mayor Caton, who has since moved on. And the reason we're asking these two, they're two very important committees. One, StanCog. As you know, StanCog is our transportation agency, Metropolitan Transportation Agency, and tens of millions of dollars flow through that agency to the cities and the county in the area over there. So it's important that we have a seat at the table. Former Mayor Caton was the primary member on that committee, and Councilmember Candia was the alternate. So we're asking council to have a discussion and to place somebody on that one, whether it be the alternate, a new alternate, or a new member there. And the second one is a public safety subcommittee. Councilmember Graham currently sits on that, but it's currently vacant again because former Mayor Caton also sat on there. And we're working with West End right now on a joint cost sharing for an employee and a joint purchasing program, and so it's important to have two members on there because we've been doing some 2-on-2s with them, with Chief Brazier, and so we're asking that you find a second person to sit on the 2+2 for the Public Safety Committee. So I can answer any questions. Just with respect to the remaining committees that Caton sat on, a staff's recommendation that those aren't of equal importance at this particular point in time. So when you get a full council back on, then we can go through the rest of those committees if you so desire, and then that would give the new council member an opportunity to sit on some of those committees. So with that, that's our recommendation as staff report.
Okay. My comment is, if Nick's been on the StanCog as the alternate, if you want to be the alternate, I'll be your backup. And if Casey, if you want to stay on the committee you're on.
Oh, yeah, I'll absolutely stand.
Yeah, that would resolve the issue.
Well, I'll be the number 2 person for the safety committee.
Okay.
And then whatever you want to do, Bob, if you want to, I know that you've already been to,
I just went to one meeting, but I'm satisfied either way.
it doesn't matter to me. If you want me to be the main and then you be the alternate,
That'd
that's
be fine.
Okay.
Okay.
Why don't we do it that way?
Okay. So maybe we can just get a motion that would say that Councilmember Candia will be the primary member of StanCog.
Right.
And Mayor Martino will be the alternate. And then Councilmember Candia will replace Caton on the Public Safety Committee along with Councilmember Graham. Can we get a motion?
Okay.
So moved.
That's the motion. Who's making it?
I motion that Nick takes over as Stancog, representative with Mayor as the secondary, and that I stay on the safety committee along with Nick.
Okay.
India.
Thank you.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carried 4-0.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Item 11, item from District 5, Stanislaus County Supervisor Jim D. Martini.
Good evening, Mayor Martina, council members, staff. I just have a few things tonight. On the West Side Healthcare Task Force, our art and essay contest will soon be underway. So I think I've told you before, I've made the presentation to the Newman School Board about 2 weeks ago. Tomorrow night I will be in Gustine to make a presentation to that school board, and then on Patterson on the 21st. So we do the theme every year. This year's theme is Health is a Family Affair. And then we will get drawings for our calendar and then have a essay contest that we will judge and give out prizes accordingly. So anyway, that's underway. The next task force meeting will be here in Newman on Thursday, September 17th at your community building where your old city hall used to be. So anyway, it's September 17th, so thank you for hosting that for us this time. And the only other thing I have is the EDAC committee, it's the Economic Development Action Committee, that does meet on Thursday, the September 10th. That's just in 2 days, 4 o'clock at the County Administration Building. And that committee tries to facilitate projects for federal grants. If you have something that creates employment and economic development, there is federal money available. There's a lot of strings attached, but this committee only meets 4 times a year, so then the meeting is Thursday. So if you have a project or just like to come and put in some input, that'd be the time. Meetings usually last about an hour and a half. And that's all I have tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Jim. Item 12, item from the city manager and staff.
Thank you, Mayor. I don't know if you got that, but there's a dedication ceremony that the county's offering. I'll pass this around. It's a dedication of the Stanislaus County Sheriff Corners facility. It'll be on Tuesday, October 6th at 10 a.m., and the address is 921 Oakdale Road. Also, there's a second one, and I believe we may have sent this out to you, but Newman's Women's Club is having an open house on Monday, September 14th. And there's an 11:30 a.m. social and a 12 noon luncheon. There are some RSVP numbers on here too, so I'm going to send this down for you to view and then take those down. Now that the fall festival is over, that can only mean one thing: soccer starting. So, youth soccer, Sherman Park this weekend, first weekend. Go out and get hamburgers and hot dogs and watch a little bit of soccer going on out there. For Councilmember Graham and Mayor Martina, we are scheduled for a 2-on-2 with the school district next week. I'll send you out a reminder for that. And then just lastly, fire department wise, at your last meeting you approved the job description and salary schedule. We had a little 2-on-2 meeting with them. If you haven't heard, Chief Hall from West End Fire Protection District is leaving the district and moving to Santa Cruz County to take a job. The interim chief will be Jeff Brazier. Chief Brazier will be the interim chief, so I'm going to be working with him and fine-tuning the final recruitment. And we're hoping in the next week to 10 days, hopefully we can get that recruitment out for our new fire division chief, which would be Mel Souza's replacement. We're hoping that we can get that position filled around Thanksgiving, early December on that. So with that, I can answer any questions that you may have at this time.
Any questions? Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Okay, staff? Chief?
Evening, Mayor, council members. I'll give you a quick update on the weekend's event. It was a very busy weekend for us, law enforcement wise, especially Saturday night. I don't know what caused it. It was probably since early 2000s that I've seen that kind of activity from the community. We had 9 arrests total for the weekend, 3 DUIs, 2 of them resulted in crashes that we responded to. We had an assault with a deadly weapon where a victim was and his girlfriend were beat severely. So the charge there, and then we have an attempted homicide that we're still investigating. That's a result from an assault with a deadly weapon also. There's several rumors out there that there was stabbings and shootings. There was no shooting. We're still following up on if there was in fact a stabbing that was a result of the other gentleman, the attempted homicide case, where some leads going on there where a possible stabbing. But there was no shootings. There was some aerial fireworks in the area around the same time that all this stuff was going on, and some stuff out in the county which sounded like a cannon is really what it sounded like. It sounded like our football team was playing in town, and I think it kind of scared the community a little bit because they saw us running all over town, but it had no direct effect on what we were doing. There was no gunshots actually reported other than the aerial fireworks that were going on. And I would be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Any question? No question.
Thank you. I thought somebody had.
Just wanted to thank the council for awarding the bid for the skate plaza. So that project's been a couple years in the making. We're looking forward to getting it completed for the community. I'm happy to answer any questions.
I have no questions about that, but I just want to tell you, we had the breakfast at the Louis J. Newman, and I tell you something, I think a lot of people were really amazed to see how better it looks than it did last year. I mean, it really looked really very nice, and it's a nice venue for that sort of thing, but thank you so much, because I know you were a good part of that.
I'm glad to hear it. I was actually curious to hear what folks were saying because I know it was a big event and the Newman family was down, so it's nice to hear.
Yeah, it was very nice, Daphne. Thank you so much. Any other questions for Stephanie? Lou?
Our auditors will be out here tomorrow for their second visit for the year. This is more like their pop quiz. They haven't given us the list of things ahead of time, so they just show up and start having us pull documents to match our reports, make sure we have all the proper backup for it. And then they also pull our staff aside and interview them individually. Yeah, it should go pretty well.
Very good. Consent?
Okay, good evening. Just one update regarding the community rating system, which is related to the flood insurance. During the fall festival, several resident and property owners, as well as the business owners, approached to the city staff to ask about the flood insurance program. So, just for information, the last year, the city provided the submitted National Flood Insurance Program community rating system to FEMA, and this application was approved, and the city of Newman became the CRS certified community from May 1st, 2015. It means that any property owner or business owner who carrying the flood insurance premium, they must get 5% discount. So, however, not many people know that, and also even insurance agency didn't understand what's going on in this area. So, however, no matter what, the FEMA approved our certification, so that means anyone who carrying the flood insurance must get 5% discount. So, happy to answer to any question you may have.
Any questions? No questions. Thank you very much. Council members?
I don't
Casey?
know, based on what he's talking about, is there anything that could be sent out on a flyer? in the
Yeah, we
mail
can
so
work
that
on
they
getting out
can-
some educational material.
Perfect, thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you, Councilman. Roberta?
I have something. I've been trying 2 years to get the dead limbs on these trees around this town cut. Trees that are on city property. Apparently I'm talking to myself. 8D tonight is a good reason we should do it. This was a small claim. It was for car damage. $3,098.74. That's small. If we don't get this problem solved, we're going to have a man in here one day with an injured child or possibly a dead child from limbs falling from the trees. This needs to be solved.
I think what Roberta is saying is that we have a lot of potential trees out there that could drop limbs. and we probably should be evaluating them and see if they need to be trimmed.
We work with a certified arborist to help us identify some trees, and then we do as many as we can as the budget permits. But we can have a discussion. I'll personally have a discussion with Councilmember Davis on some target areas that she would like to see, and we can get the certified arborist over there.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And Nick, you have anything?
Just congratulations, Bob, and anyone who ever saw the float this weekend. I think they did a great job. It was really nice. Good representative of the city, so I was happy to see that. And I want to remind Mike that we have an open position here.
Yeah, Mike, you remember what I said about you? It holds true. I had a couple items. I received a call from Mike Furtado, and Mike's complaint was, and I just happened to see these planes. There was a plane that was flying over Newman on August 30th, and what it was doing, it was mosquito abatement, and they were spraying. And it was probably early evening, while people would be barbecuing and stuff like that. And what he was trying to tell me, you know, people were getting this material in their eyes and probably in their face and everything else. And I don't understand the program that would fly over our city like that at that time and drop that kind of material. And it just so happened in the park, the mosquito abatement had a booth there, and I talked to them. And they apparently had 30 complaints from Turlock for basically the same thing. But the program used to be they had a vehicle that went around and actually sprayed, and now they're trying to do it with a plane. The plane, to me, it was lower than 300 feet. I don't know what FAA allows, but it seemed awful low. And it seems like if something mechanically went wrong with that plane, there's no way he's going to be able to land that plane in a safe spot. So I would think that in some way we should put a formal complaint into mosquito abatement that we're concerned about their planes flying over our city. Now, what they did tell me, they said, you can go online and find the schedule. How many people go online and find a schedule? That's like, you know, it does not make any sense at all. So I think we have an opportunity here to protect our citizens, and I think that what he's saying is justified. And if Turlock had 30 complaints, you know that there's probably people in Newman that didn't call in that were complaining about it. So, anyway.
Mayor Martina, I can tell you, I know our representative, Mr. Honeywell, expressed some concern when he saw that schedule, because I saw an email go out and he was trying to get them to change it.
Okay.
Apparently they didn't, but I will work with Mr. Honeywell and go and contact Mr. Heff. David Heff is the general manager from the Turlock Mosquito Abatement District, and I'll generate a letter.
I will tell you that this Mike, excuse me, Mike Furtado did call mosquito abatement, but he said, in his own words, they blew me off. So what I'm saying, they didn't want to talk to him. They didn't want to talk to him. They didn't want to hear the problem. I mean, apparently they contract out the spraying to an airplane company or something like that, and then they spray whenever they want to, which is nothing they shouldn't be doing.
Well, again, I know Mr. Honeywell is very diligent on representing Newman on that. I've seen him go back and forth with his emails to Mr. Heff, so we'll generate a letter from the city and get that going, and then
thank you.
I'll have a conversation on the side with Mr. Honeywell.
Okay, my next item, and I don't know if we can do anything about it. I know I've heard there's been a lot of people talking in town. St. George's Hotel had a bar removed, and apparently, yeah, the bar has been actually physically removed from St. George's Hotel. And I know historically, there's limitations to what we can protect, but it seems to me that those kind of things should be protected. And I don't know, but it's my understanding. I haven't physically looked in there to see if it's been removed, but it's been taken out. And my concern is that there's other items in this town, other things, other properties and stuff that we should protect. And so what I'm just saying, there should be some way we could review what historically is out there and what should be protected. And the Historical Society probably could provide a lot of information. But anyway, I don't know if you've heard that bar was...
Yeah, in fact, myself and another staff member actually looked inside the window and noticed that the bar back was not where it originally was. We called the property owner. The bar has not been removed from the site. It's been relocated out of that current position.
Okay.
I guess it was taken apart and then moved to another part of the building. But in my conversation with the property owner who's selling it to somebody else, the person who bought it moved it to a different part of the building. So we understand that there's activity going on in that building. Our building official has been over there to make sure that no activity is occurring without that would need a building permit. If there's no building permit being required, or there's no change in use that we can identify right off the bat, from our perspective, it's very difficult to police something like that. You start infringing on private property rights, and so we have try to run a fine line there. We understand the value of the historical structure, so that's why we've been trying to keep an eye on it to make sure that no long-term damage is done, and any work that is being done is done in compliance with not only city code, but state as well as historic code.
Okay, Mike. Yeah, it just, we've lost too many things in the past already that have been destroyed or moved or whatever else, and they've gone someplace else other than Newman, so. Please, if you step to the podium, if you want to make a comment. I don't know if it's legal, but I'm going to let you.
I'll try to be fast.
That's
It's not
okay.
really my forte. I'm an ex-planning commissioner for City of Patterson, and I know that there's a very difficult line. Planning commissions look at zoning, and if that building is zoned for various uses and a convenience store was approved, it tears your heart out, but what can you do? But the St. George is a treasure. The bar, I can understand being relocated maybe, but I don't know if a plan was ever given to the council. Planning commissions don't review floor plans, but it seems a shame. And yes, a lot of buildings have been either torn down or they no longer look at all like they did. And so I wish something could have been circumvented before they started to muck up the hotel, even though it's been a difficult slog for businesses to make a go of it there. I think the bigger picture should have been taken.
Thank you very much for your comment. And my last comment, on the high side, we had a great fall festival. I hope a lot of people went out and enjoyed it. There's a lot of things for us to do. The parade was long, but it was a good parade. And when you're in the parade, you never see what's in the other people that are in the parade. But I know it was pretty long, and I hope that everyone enjoyed the 2 days or 3 days that we had. There was a lot of great events. You know, we started with the children, Mr. and Miss Newman, the little ones, and then we went to the plaza, and we had under the stars we had the wine and cheese, or wine and anyway, it was just a great week, and there was a lot of activities for people to do, and so I hope everyone had a good time. And with that, I'll ask for adjournment.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
I second the motion.
Motion been made and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion adjourned, 4-0.